Hello, Fightful Faithful. It's a Tuesday.
Guys, Alex didn't warn me that he was going to be not only in his Independence Day attire, but that he would have working pinwheels upon his head. So we're not doing the show tonight. That's it. I'm sorry. I was going to say that this is your NXT post show for the last day of June. It is June 30th. I was going to say, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats, leave a thumbs up on this video. I was going to say thank you for getting us to 225,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I was going to remind you to subscribe to Fightful Select, where we had a ridiculous amount of news all weekend, where we had a scoops thread for every show that you saw. But now all of that is taken away, and it's all Alex's fault, because I can't. How am I supposed to do the show? Not to mention, I have the least amount of effort to how I look. And probably, if we're being so honest, the least amount of effort that I'm putting into. I'm tired, guys. Man, we had so many shows this weekend. We had SmackDown. We had Night of Champions. We had Great American Bash. We didn't do Slammiversary, but we did do AEW, and that show started at 1 in the frickin' morning because AEW insists on it. And then yesterday, I went to Produce, which was incredible. Wow.
Oh my God, cucumber versus watermelon?
Oh,
That's
did.
a match of the year contender.
I was thinking of you because they did actually throw out oranges into the crowd, which was awesome. Sincerely, like, there's not a ton of, I don't want to disparage the New Jersey independent scene too much, but like, there's not a lot of distinct personality shows running. There's a lot of, this school trains kids, we do shows to help them out. WrestlePro runs less frequently than they used to because their producers are on the road, and like Kevin Matthews, etc. So,
Sure.
like, it's a champagne problem there, but and there's also like House of Glory and things in the area, but this was very, very cool. I do want to give it some love at the top of the show here, because I'm not just saying it because my favorite wrestler was there. It wasn't just ZSJ, though. An incredible match. Amazing venue. A top-of-the-line production. Walker Stewart, who was brilliant on Forbidden Door and is great with New Japan. And Filthy Tom Lawler on commentary. Incredible card. Immaculate vibes. The crowd was nuts. It was such an overwhelmingly positive experience, and it is, call it Will Ospreay, because it's so elevated as far as what we're getting kind of as far as like independent options, especially in the Northeast. So huge shout out to them. Thank you for having me, and I got to see Cresta in person, which was really, really nice as well.
Nice.
So overwhelmingly positive experience. I am, however, so tired. I'm very tired. I've done a lot of consuming wrestling and yapping about it. But we do have this NXT show to talk about, and there's some good and some less good. A couple of things. Booker T is back from his hiatus. He had some family issues
And
going on.
it doesn't get much less good than that.
We are glad that he's okay, because it was family issues. And also tonight's match, I think Keanu Carver really hurt Vikingo. I think that's what really happened. No, there are, I don't want to say rumors, because Corey Hayes at False Finish is certainly a credible reporter, and he's very accurate about things related to NXT. But Fightful Select has not yet confirmed, I'll say that much, that Vikingo was actually injured in the rehearsal, like, production of the match that he was supposed to have tonight. So I actually thought they put something pretty impressive together on the
Super short notice
that they did.
Yeah.
So, man, the story of Vikingo's career, man, is such a bummer. Some of these injuries, he's so snake bitten, but certainly, like, there was a lot of AAA presence on the show tonight, and that was a concerted effort. But there is that. And Alex, I'll say this, like, I thought, we talked about Great American Bash. We were distracted watching it because Forbidden Door was on, and so were a lot of people, because it did under 400,000 people, which I think is, I don't want this to be taken out of context and to sound like a dunk on NXT, because I'm not celebrating that number in any way. But I think it, like, doing this counter programming efforts, I feel like it only hurts NXT. Like, it doesn't hurt AEW. Their pay-per-view buys keep being strong. It really is a detriment to its own product. And for the first one on the CW, like, I don't really want to see that. Like, I want to see a strong number for that. I want to see excitement for the product instead of it being swallowed alive by ZSJ, Kenny Omega, Swerve, and Will Ospreay putting on the most insane match you'll ever see. Mercedes Moné making Maya World a star. Like, I feel like it got so drowned out so fast, like hours later. And so I hope that they reconsider that approach, because I don't think it inflicts the harm that they think it does, and I think it does inflict harm on NXT. So not to start off the show with strong language, as I'm bound to do from time to time, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say silly. I'm gonna say it's a silly idea.
It's silly to think that you can hurt a pay-per-view buy rate while making no money yourself, because it's
free and accessible.
It's free on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, and maybe it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but it's like, we're gonna steal business from the $80 a steak restaurant by doing free hot dogs in the vacant lot across the street. That's not the same clientele, and people are just going to show up for free hot dogs because they're free hot dogs. The idea that somebody would be like, I'm in the mood for the greatest, most decadent filet mignon I've ever had, and money is no object. Oh, but free hot dog. Like, no one's making that choice. Like,
Sure.
That's just a fundamental misunderstanding of how people spend their money and who is the one spending money, and like because the other thing is, they put the entirety of the Great American Bash on the YouTube channel like hours later. So like, even if I didn't tune in, so I would want to see it. Sure, I'd like to see that match, but I was doing something else because it's, a Sunday, and I had other plans. We had a barbecue to attend or whatever. But I also bought the AEW pay-per-view. Oops, I guess I missed it. Maybe next time I'll tune in. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to, because the next day at work, I could just watch it on my lunch break on a small little window on my work computer. I can watch, whatever happened on NXT because I put it on YouTube. Like, if you're going to counter program, friggin' counter program.
Sure.
That's been my thing. If you're going to do it, you find the best possible matches to do by bringing in people from the main roster to do a one-off. Like what I was saying, if you're going to try and counter program this big thing, back when Noble February was the champion, bring in Sheamus or somebody.
Sure.
Like a former world champ says, I'll put you through your paces, kid. Now, I'd like to see that. You know what I mean? Like, is that kind of a thing? But this is just, I don't know, like, so little of the NXT show was built either well or just not silly. You know what I mean? And so that didn't help much. And I'm not surprised they didn't do a great number on not their regular day, on what is probably a beautiful Sunday evening where people have other plans during the summer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not surprised.
I would also say there is How could I be so brave yet so controversial? I don't think head-to-head exists anymore because people just watch stuff later. And if you're going to choose to watch one later, if you are watching both and you're not reviewing it, like, if you're going to choose to watch one later, it's probably going to be this. Because there's nothing of tremendous urgency. And the one title change that did happen, we all kind of saw coming a mile away, especially when it was announced as the main event. So I wish they would stop doing it because I think it hurts wrestling fans and I think it hurts their own product most of all. And I do appreciate, as usual, Alex giving some great analysis whilst looking like this. That is genuinely
like
one of my
favorite.
Yes. Like a style icon. Like a style icon.
This is just me, the week of the, you know how sometimes like white girls will have a birthday week?
No, you don't say.
So this is America's birthday week. This is all this is. This is just what I dress like during America's birthday week. You only turn 250 once. Let's
I love this idea that America starts with mimosas at brunch and then
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that out of the way, I also did say, and I did do my due diligence in that there was nothing. There could be a catastrophic event happening outside my window. There could be a nuclear fallout, and if Kenny Omega and Zack Sabre Jr. is on, it has my attention. So unfortunately, at that time, there's no amount of money Sean could pay me for me to instead turn my attention to Saquon Sugars and Deion Lennox. That is not a reflection on them. It's a reflection on the fact that I am obsessed with Zack Sabre Jr.'s work, and Kenny Omega's the best wrestler in the world.
Here's the most NXT thing. If for some reason you did pry your attention away from Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenny Omega to watch Deion Lennox and Saquon Sugars, congratulations. Absolutely zero follow-up on the following episode.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, because there were a couple of things
you were
tonight.
Building to this thing. You had a whole in-ring thing where they were talking to each other or whatever. They had the match. Saquon won. It was a good match. Saquon showed out. Deion Lennox looked pretty good. Pretty good. For a guy who was an NFL practice squad type player, those guys, when they end up being in the game this long and still looking pretty good and like they're still continuing to improve, it's worth pointing out. He looked good. Saquon showed out. Saquon won. They beat the hell out of Saquon afterwards. Zero follow-up today.
I did go back and watch it.
How you run a whole show
program, with
an episodic program where you're trying to build the stuff and then you follow up the stuff after you've built to it.
I thought the match was good. I agree with you with Lennox that I think just more. He just needs more reps. He does look good. Saquon Sugars, I will say, find a rocket to strap to him. You're in Florida. They're launching them into space near you. Go find one. Put it on Saquon Sugars. You have enough titles. Because he just, the unteachable thing is just so there with this guy, and they should tap into it as soon as they can. There was no follow-up tonight. I feel like one thing that I appreciate about NXT is they do a lot of rotation of this is on one week, and then you get a snippet the next week, and then it's in full force the next week. I actually really like that cadence. After a pay-per-view with an angle that was invested so heavily in, I got to get something on my show about it. Yeah. So I did feel like that was a missed opportunity. But we did get some graps tonight. We got some setups for things.
Yeah. People are asking puns. I was thinking in honor of the World Cup, two things: soccer, aka football. If you're somebody who if you're throwing out famous soccer players to you, they may not be famous to us, and we apologize for maybe not knowing them. However, you can get around that because also countries of the world. We haven't ever done a geography type thing. And in honor of the World Cup, countries / soccer, football. So that there we go. Those are your puns tonight.
Can I start us off with simply the PK, the penalty kick, writes itself.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Yes.
So one soccer thing that I'll know.
Good. Good. All right. We started out with the recap of the show. Who cares? And then Kendall Gray coming out.
Sure.
And she was like, "Hey, Ren would come out with me." No, this is your moment. You come out by yourself. This is a lie because later I'm going to come out anyway. And then Kendall Gray comes out and gets a lot of "You Deserve It" chants, and then one really obnoxious dude who does not like Kendall Gray. Maybe he was a big Lola Vice fan. I don't know.
This
but
guy's
there
got to
was
shut up.
I'm not. Well, what I'm saying is the guy's got to shut up. But I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't understand where it was coming from. Like what exactly his problem with Kendall Gray was.
He's a huge Kurt Angle guy, and he's knock it off with the comparisons.
No, I don't know if maybe, but I mean, like there's a very large contingent of Lola Vice fans, being that she's so heavily, involved with the Cuban population, in Florida. So like that would be if they were like, well, wait a minute, she got like a 3.5 month title reign. What the hell? Maybe that's the reason somebody would be upset. But the way to handle that is to not just yell all the time. And when people are doing "You Deserve It" chants, you decide to throw in a no, you don't. And then while she's trying to cut her promo, very awkwardly, bless her heart, you're trying to mess her up with whatever it is you're screaming at people. Now, I didn't hear that guy past like the 2-minute mark, so maybe security removed him. But yeah, that guy was not helping her out at all. But her whole promo was about how I'm way more nervous talking than I am wrestling. You guys have to bear with me. This has not come easy to me. I was the girl who hid under the desk when the teacher was calling on kids to read in class. So like and like for a lot of people, relatable. You know what I mean? Public speaking still is the number one fear in America, if not the world. And like the idea that you would be so good at the wrestling part that you have to give that a shot. That's your passion. But also have a fear of public speaking that might, for a lot of people, just say, well, I can't do this. I can't do this now. And she says, I'm going to get over that. I'm going to get through it. And I thought she handled herself well. But I liked that she basically gave herself that out. You know what I mean? Of like, this is not what I do well. Please bear with me. I love you guys. I'm going to keep trying to be more of a champion, all that kind of stuff. I like that she gave us that caveat. Had she not, I don't know if I would have been like, this was not a great promo. But because she did, I was like, this seems fine. You're working this out. Like, you got here from Evolve like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, like we will work this out with you. You're a wunderkind in the ring. Yeah. We will figure out a way to get you to cut a promo. Okay. They're not going to turn you into the female Julius Creed. They're not going to do it. They're going to figure out a way to make you into something.
So even
the idea
say
of
the word,
the idea of a woman who, because she talks about I don't like being in the makeup chair. I'm not a girly girl. Like that's a pretty big segment of the wrestling fan female population.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm not saying it's half of them, but it's a big segment of them. And when you look at all these women who come out and they're fully like dressed to the nines and they got all 3 hours in the makeup chair with the hair and everything, maybe you don't relate to them as much, but you relate to Kendall Gray because she tells you I'm like you. And look at me. I don't like wearing all this makeup. And I always say companies should find as many niches, as many different smaller groups of fans to say, this person in our roster is for you. We're going to tailor that to you, and you will find a person to latch onto and love in this person. If you do that with enough small groups, eventually the tent that you create is ginormous. And that's what you want to do. And so I hope this works for Kendall Gray.
I agree with you that it felt like she was a little, I don't even want to say trepidatious because she didn't come across as not confident or nervous. She came across as a little like measured and like she did come across like she wasn't in the promo, like she was saying the promo. And that's a really, really big difference for being able to really deliver something. But to your point, I don't think I would have been like, this was bad. I actually found it better than a lot of what, unfortunately, again, with Lola Vice, like, it felt like they didn't try. That was just like, crossover athlete Latina. Like, there's nothing there. There's something that they're tapping into with Kendall, which I think is great. And most importantly, like, we're not in the rainbow era anymore, Alex. Thank God. Praise Jesus. But there was a very long time where we were like, how many blonde D3 athletes are they going to churn out? And how many girls with black lipstick are going to be heels? That was it. We had two things that were happening. And now we have a lot more happening. So it's good when you see the champion stand out in this way. And there's also there's something so endearing when somebody just off the top is like, here's the deal. This is my weakness. Like, you as someone watching, I feel like immediately let your guard down in a different way.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not waiting for them to prove anything else wrong or whatever. There's just something very endearing. Like, perfect example. Not this week, but last week, like, I had my personal training session and I normally come in there like a house of fire, ready to rock and roll. And I just flat out told my trainer, I was like, I am so tired this week. And he like immediately was like, that's not who you normally are. So like, it like there's just certain things where you can disarm other people by just acknowledging it. And if like that's genuinely how she feels, that's great. Yeah. I do feel like she's very pretty, so I'm like, okay, then I don't think you need to wipe off half your makeup. Just tell them not to put on that much makeup because you look great. Like, you're a good-looking gal. But I also understand that I like that she used Lola Vice for this, that, like, she's not dressed to the nines, high heel. Like, she used her as an example and, like, oh, whoa, that's what a champion looks like. Like, that's not me. So it's kind of nice because it doesn't feel like she has any in-ring vulnerabilities that they immediately gave her personality vulnerabilities. Yeah. Because, like, I don't know, if you're countering an F5 into an armbar, I think you're probably pretty kick-ass and that you don't have a lot of weaknesses. So I thought this was a perfectly good way to kick things off. I was glad to see her on the show, and we'll talk about what gets set up later for her, because as a technical wrestling fan, I am locked in to what that's going to be.
Ren comes out with a cake, a 2-layer cake to celebrate the fact that they are both champions.
This was
That's
the
one
only
layer.
thing.
There's a 1 layer for each champion, and then immediately interrupted by Kehlani Jordan, who's like, "Congratulations, you got all these opportunities and you finally won one of them. Now the thing you have to do is to give me a title shot so I could have my first opportunity ever." I'll listen. I was just trying to mind my own business and speaking my truth, and this crazy lady attacked me on Sunday, and then Tatum comes out of her box behind the barricade and attacks Kehlani, and they fight to the back, and Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray shove cake in their faces, wedding style.
It was so good, except for the, like, what are we doing? Like, come on, you just made her to be such a champion. Like, she's amazing in the ring. We got, like, these vulnerabilities for her, but she also, like, reminded us that she's great in the ring in that. And then it's like, she likes cake is the other thing we know about her. Tomboy, wunderkind in the ring, loves cake. And I just feel like there's a whole show about is it cake? Right. Like, we don't need to.
She might have a sugar addiction.
We don't need to do that with our champion, do we?
No, we don't.
We should get a 10-minute promo about that. We want to talk about relatable. That's it.
Yeah.
Sugar addict? But you are anti-frosting, so this must have really upset you.
I've never been a cake guy. And I mean, like, if it was gonna be cake, then if it had to be cake, I would probably scrape most of the frosting off. You know? Especially now. Kate, I'm trying to keep my sugar intake at 20 grams a day. How am I going to have frosting? You know what I mean? Like it's just, this is not something that...
Listen, this is not you getting to... There's revisionist history you're trying to put into this. You have been anti-frosting for a long time, but I respect it because you're a pie guy. You're a pie guy.
I'm a pie guy and a cookie guy.
And a cookie guy.
I am at heart a fresh baked cookie guy. Like if you told me there's only one dessert you can have for the rest of your life, hot out of the oven, chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
That's it. That would be it. I wouldn't need anything else. I wouldn't even need ice cream as long as I had fresh out of the oven chocolate chip cookies. Now, do I like ice cream? Yes, but if you told me I only get one dessert, and they got to be fresh out of the oven, they gotta pull. They gotta be like the chocolate chips are still melted. Yeah. So.
Will you? There's so many things that I love going on right now. The first is how you look. The second is that we're talking about cookies. And the third is that your YouTube play button is visible behind you.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Like sporting an incredible accomplishment from
just but hanging
YouTube.
out on the ground. You know what I mean?
Listen.
Like I'm humble about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's
no,
I
of
mean,
course.
that old thing. Yeah, I kind of figured out where to put it.
I just like the translation that if you dress like this and you talk about this, those are the results. If there's a cookie with frosting on it.
I mean, those sugar cookies you get from like the Walmart bakery.
Or like at Christmas time or whatever.
I mean, Christmas is a different. I mean, a little bit of frosting on a Christmas cookie, fine. Sure. But if I had my druthers, I wouldn't be doing a frosting cookie. I'd want a cookie sans frosting, you know. But it's yeah. My own personal proclivities. It's fine.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not. My dessert is a protein bar. That's what my dessert is. It's like now, I'm down 70 pounds. You don't get that by eating, like sugar all the time. You just don't. Sure. So
I understand.
We go directly from this celebration with pie, cake in the face to Keanu Carver standing over somebody in the back with a pipe.
Yes.
And Robert Stone like, what the hell? And I didn't look down at who he had attacked. I assumed it was going to be EK Prosper.
Right.
Like, that's the guy he's got a problem with. He doesn't have a problem with Vikingo. He attacked Vikingo so that Prosper couldn't get the title match, which is really what he wants to do, is attack Prosper, but maybe Prosper hadn't gotten there yet. So what we're saying is that and Vikingo is legitimately dinged up and could not go today. And that sucks. I mean, that's not good. But oh man, is it rare that I give NXT this kind of praise? The plan they came up with was
really good.
Really good, like on the fly, and we've seen main roster WWE like basically have to fly by the seat of their pants because something went crazy and end up coming up with something good. The one that will always stick in my mind is where nobody could get back from Saudi Arabia to that SmackDown show.
That was the greatest thing ever.
Let's fly up everybody from NXT, and we're going to do an impromptu Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan match.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like that was the best one ever, but they've done others in the past. This ended up being a better story beat for the Keanu Carver EK Prosper thing. Like it becomes a David versus Goliath, like full on series of things that you can do now, where and we'll talk more about the match, but like Keanu Carver apparently took out Vikingo so that Prosper couldn't have a match for a title. Give me a title shot. And Stone says to Keanu Carver, well, you're not going to get a title shot because you injured the guy who's hurt. You know what? You're gonna face EK Prosper tonight. And Keanu Carver is like, grr. Like I feel like he should be like, good. I want another shot to beat this guy. But he seems upset at having done it. And having had to do it. But yeah, when this happened, I was like, oh, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And yet they somehow turned it into something great. And this is the other thing about it. NXT is in some ways, it's a bad training ground for the main roster in some ways, because for the most part, these, performance center athletes turned NXT superstars are told, you've got a match next week. And then they get in the ring on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If they come in on the weekend, they get it on Monday, and they're working out the match. They're doing all of the things. They're rehearsing it. They're putting together all the beats. They're working with a trainer one-on-one because they're also in wrestling school. And sometimes when they get to the main roster, hey, so the person you were going to have a match with, they missed their flight. And so you're not having a match with that. You're having with them. The match is in 90 minutes. Go confer with that person. You get no ring time. Go confer with this person and lay out the match with an agent and figure out what you're going to do, and then come and do the match for the first time ever in front of 25,000 people in this big arena on TV, on Netflix, in front of all these people. And you got to sink or swim, but you've never had that as even a thing that you took a class in wrestling school, because the whole time it's, let's work out everything ahead of time. Let's lay out the match in all these kind of ways. And some of them don't work out that way. But in this case, and I'll just talk about this match now because we're this deep into it. EK Prosper gets a pep talk from Tate Wilder, which doesn't matter. And EK Prosper and Keanu Carver have a really great. It's a better match than the first match they had, which was a good match. This was a better match. Keanu Carver just heaves EK Prosper all over the ring. Some of the highest angle German suplexes I've ever seen. Just way the hell up there. A Beal that got 20 feet at least. Like, just really good stuff. Carver excels when you just let him be this monster that he is. Like, completely reckless, has no concern for life or limb or anybody, and that's what he does. And Prosper sold the hell out of it this whole time.
Yeah, I was gonna. My biggest takeaway from this match was actually that, because we've seen Keanu Carver be amazing at this side of it before, and he was tonight, and I don't mean to diminish it, but EK Prosper, not just selling, but like, so many times we see the babyface not give up, and it's corny in the most beautiful of wrestling ways, right? Yeah. Like, it's the hulking up and the whatever, but he did. I thought the storytelling from him was great. Of like, it was so much more controlled, and it was like, okay, how do I stay in it? Like, there's something really true to combat sports about that approach to a match, because you don't see MMA artists pause in a corner and hulk themselves up and whatever, but you do see them, fuck, I got to shake that off. Okay, how do I come back? And I saw that a few times when he was like looking for his openings. And I personally love that, because I feel like it's too rare. And I get the trope and selling to the seats and whatever, but like, the guy, so much of what we see of having heart in wrestling is this, golly gee, I gotta hang in there, whatever. And this was like, I love the cool, controlled whatever approach that he had tonight. I thought it was so much better, especially, and I think this part's crucial, it's the second time he faced him and he won the first time. He shouldn't look pathetic about this just because he's getting heaved all around. Mm-hmm. So the dramatics of it, I didn't think should be there. And I really appreciated his approach to this. I thought it was really, really well done, especially considering that it was no freaking notice. Because it's not like, I mean, if the reports are true that Vikingo got hurt during the rehearsal, you couldn't have less notice than that, really, unless he tripped on the way to the ring or whatever. Like, it was, I thought it was very impressive from both of them tonight, because you would not, if you had just told me this was NXT's corny way of doing a backstage attack and then this match happens again, I would have just believed you, because they do that kind of stuff. But you would never have known it. I thought both of these guys did an excellent job. I just want to see them remind us why Keanu Carver is so angry all the time at everything. I get why he's mad at EK Prosper, but I would say disproportionately. And we got that one really great vignette that we talked about. But I need to see like more of that side of him. I think that would be helpful. But that was not going to happen under these circumstances tonight, because it was what it was.
Prosper keeps fighting back, but gets put down every time. They end up on the outside. Keanu Carver like snake eyes him onto the announce table, and then rolls him back into the ring, where the referee does the thing where he's like, I would never do this under any other circumstances, but I'm going to kneel to check on you with my back to the guy on the outside. I never do this except for when I need to, because there's going to be outside interference that I'm not allowed to see. So on Sunday, Hank and Tank were willfully instigating and egging on Keanu Carver, who then threw a security guy into a giant pile, which knocked Hank off of a stage onto some tables, through some tables. And so tonight, Tank decided to get his revenge by running in and tossing Keanu Carver through the LED board at ringside. And then stood there, and the referee turned around and saw the aftermath. And then Tank decided to turn it into a ridiculous silent movie comedy. It was like, and
it was Bugs Bunny getting hit by the mallet for the seventh time or whatever.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, Keanu Carver gets in, beats the count at 9. And then EK Prosper does a running knee and giant moonsault and pins him for the second time. And so Keanu Carver, his whole deal is I should get a title shot, and yet he cannot beat EK Prosper. So it is a kind of a very interesting arc that they have to deal with here, because I do believe Keanu Carver has a pretty high ceiling as this version of an absolute mad dog that you can't control. I think that there's a lot of really good stuff that you could do with him. And if they're not willing to be like, okay, well, here's a title shot, then this is a cool way to keep him at bay. And I think that EK Prosper is the perfect dude to be the foil for him right now, particularly because you're booking him to win. And and this time, is it kind of cheap because Tank got involved? Yeah, but that's WWE for you. And I think that there's a lot of really cool opportunities. This is the kind of thing where, like, if you booked Keanu Carver in a way that if you put him in the ring with a champion, he probably has to beat that guy because of how you booked him. So you are trying to not have him have that title match because you're not ready for him to be champ right now. So this is a really good way of keeping him busy for the time being, while also elevating EK Prosper as the guy who will not die. I think that there's a good way of doing this.
I think so many times with NXT and WWE in general, and to an extent wrestling in general, when you have to adjust on the fly, there's like this overcompensation of doing way too much. And I love how much they did not do way too much here. Mm-hmm. Like it was just, where did the story start? Let's just add another beat in for tonight and we'll go from there kind of thing. Like I actually feel like they muddy up so much in this promotion and this world. But I thought this was like perfect in its simplicity. I could have done without the Hank and Take thing, but like it happened for a reason, so I'm not mad about it. Like this was good. And speaking of good, we've got some good people that like to send in their greetings to us every week, including my dad, who says, "Here's to the SGS, who each week gather to pick over the carcass of another NXT episode. Here's to our intrepid Sherpas, Kate and Team Calyx, who make it all make sense. And here's to someone who's never soured, J.W. Pringle." Thanks, Dad. My dad had to help me put my car out of its misery this week that I was driving. I went for a little hike, and I went to put my car in reverse after I went on this hike. I meditated. It was this gorgeous day. I feel amazing. I'm like walking back to my car. I get in my car. I texted Sean actually. And then I go to put my car in reverse and it just rolls forward. And I pull the e-brake because it was rolling into some trees and bushes. And I was like, that is less than ideal. And it turned out to be the transmission. So after 27 years with our 1999 RAV4, it was time to say goodbye. But it's my mom's car. And the thing is, they don't make cute little compact SUVs like they did in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're all big now. And my mom was like, I like my little guy. And so it was time. It was time. But yeah, that was less than ideal circumstances for my dad to be visiting under. So I'm just saying those super chat and humper chat dollars count when we've got to put another car out there and he's still showing up.
Yes.
And we have more greetings. One from Greg Cherry who says, "Hello, SGS. My main takeaway from this episode was that Jackson Drake's tight said Dr. Thirst, which sounds like a sody pop I'd never drink." That's very fair. That's very fair. Did they say Dr. Thirst? I did not notice.
Yeah.
You're the fashionista around here, obviously. Look at you.
I didn't notice that his trunk said that, but Vic Joseph referred to him as that twice, and I was like, is that a new nickname?
I hope that's not like Vic Joseph's name for him. That would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah. Izzy Dame is upset that she is not holding all three titles because
she wanted to be Izzy three belts.
And Zarya's like, what are you complaining about? You're talking about Tatum again? That the woman I beat twice? Yeah, well, maybe if you should go worry about the culling falling apart. Like, blah, 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 the culling is fine. We just got rid of some dead weight. And then they're having a conversation, but there's lots of rock and roll music coming out of a nearby locker room. It turns out to be Lizzie Rain. And then we see Kehlani Jordan, who is very upset about Tatum Paxley. And Robert Stone is like, you can have her tonight in the main event. And then we get Vanity Project versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and the hermano of El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. It is very funny that you have one guy who is the grandson of a doctor, and his brother, Galeno. Like, he needs to have a crazy long name that, like, just, you know what I mean? The thing is, he is technically also El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., but that would be really, like, because they're brothers, and if one of them is the son of Dr. Wagner Jr., then the other one is also the son of Dr. Wagner Jr. I understand why they can't both be named that, but it's very weird. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair.
It's like naming one of your two children, I don't know, Mary Eloise, blah 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 blah, like 4 7 names, and then her sister Sally. You know what I mean? Like it's very odd that they have the crazy long thing, and then there's anyway. My daughter was happened to be in the room watching this, and I said, "Hey, so that's what wrestlers from Mexico look like. All of them? Sure. Like, I mean, like." Because they had the Mexico flag capes and they both had masks, and it's like, yeah, well, like a lot of them wear masks because for a while it was like not considered a good thing to be a wrestler, even though everybody loved wrestling. They had to like hide your identity or whatever, but that was a long time ago. But they still honor the tradition, and I likened it to how in the movie Coco. It was that family hated the idea of one of them becoming a musician because they did not like the musician. That was dishonorable to the family. And she was like, "Oh, now I get it." So everything relates to a Pixar film.
I like that though. Look at you. Yeah. You're full of the metaphors today. You got the steak and hot dog analysis. You got this. I like it.
That's what I got. So Ricky Vapes and the guy with the hair end up winning because interference from all of the people at ringside.
Sure. That's pretty much what happens, but great. Like, I loved this match. I thought it was very, very good. I also love that you call him the guy with the hair when Brad Baylor's like just such an easy name to remember. But you're sticking to
the hair, though.
It is
the hair. It's the hair, Kate. If he had another haircut, I wouldn't be able to call him that anymore. You know what I mean?
That's fair. My thing about all the people at ringside thing is I don't want Myka to just be a person at ringside. Like she needs to have her own matches, but it's also hard to have her around the way that she is and not have her like immediately hot shot into a title. Like she should just be squashing everybody, but but I thought like I liked the use of Vanity Project tonight. I think it was inevitable they were going to retain here. The next match that we'll talk about with these guys was the one. Rather than like today was a tough showing for AAA talent. It was like Karmen lost right after the Perros Del Mal thing, and unfortunately Vikingo was out, and then in the tag match here, but Dr. Thirst I thought was fantastic, so we can talk about that here. But they're a really great group, and they kind of feel like they've been main roster ready since before they even started in NXT. Like this act is very good, and like it's translatable to the main roster. So they're another group where it's so funny with NXT. We talk about this all the time. It's like they could be here for 2 years, they could be here for 2 months. I don't know. Like it's whatever they want to do. I would never wish that on the tag team side to anybody right now. But yeah, this was a good defense. I'm excited. We'll talk about it later, but there is an effort around the tag division that's been missing that we've been talking about that seems to be at least heating back up. So that's good.
Yeah. So yes, Birthright of all people is in Stone's office talking about how I think they said, and I can't remember exactly when they won it. So the Vanity Project won the tag titles 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was, and have only defended it 3 times. When you know for a fact, if Birthright was the champs, they'd try to defend it once a year. You know what I mean? That's the kind of champs they are. It'd be much better if it was a team that would want to defend the titles if they were the champs, calling out the infrequency of the title defenses. But also Robert Stone be like, yeah, you're right. They should defend the titles more. Guess who's in charge of how much they defend the titles, Bob? It's you.
Well,
You're the
did
one.
something about it. He did
Well, now
something
he
about it
does.
today.
But the idea is like, oh man, you're right. I have been derelict in my duties as the general manager of this brand. He should have said out loud, but he didn't. OTM won a title shot also. Sean Legacy appears and he's like, my tag team partner because Dorian Van Dukes isn't there, and I was like, oh no, did Dorian Van Dukes get some visa thing and he can't be in the country and like he'll be here next week, but he's not here yet? No, because he showed up later in the episode, so this was a very odd little scene. And then Dork State appears, and they're like, "Hi, we are not the guys who are important from the story that we are involved in, but we would like a tag title shot. Where's Dion Lennox?" Like, I know Saquon Sugar's got beat down and he should be selling the beat down. Where's Dion Lennox? He's not on the show tonight. Like,
he should be bragging about
the orchestrated an absolute destruction of the guy who just beat him, getting all of his heat back, and you use all of the heat he just got back by not having him on the show is just, I'll never understand it. But also in the room is Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar, and I'm sure you liked that last part the most. But Robert Stone is like, okay. Next week, fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match between OTM, Birthright, Dark State, and Sean Legacy. If you can find your partner, you can be in it too. And then Romeo Moreno's like, hey, what about us? Why aren't we in this match? And he's like, well, build your resume some more and I'm sorry. Build your resume some more. And then we'll talk. And I was like, yeah, you guys have had one match as a tag team and lost it. Which I don't know how many wins Birthright has, but it's not much more than 0. Yeah. So if they can be in the match, why can't you be in the match too? It's fine. I don't care. But yeah, Noam Dar is like, no, it's fair. We need to pick up a victory before we can get in a number 1 contenders match. And I was like, yes, that should be the way it works.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because Noam Dar is an honorable, upstanding fella.
Yeah.
It does hurt that Noam Dar has a little bit less whimsy in this angle. Because the fashion choices are much more reasonable, and that hurts. But it is genuinely like a good use of someone, of the 2 people that remain from the Cruiserweight Classic, which we will be watching in a month. Him having being in a guidance role and a little bit more grounded in this world is objectively a good thing. I'm glad that they are taking some effort with the tag division. Someone's got to, and it ain't going to be the main roster. So I'm glad that they're at least making it a priority because the effort has been, Alex, I would say it's been somewhat on the floor, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say it's been on the floor, and the floor is for floorball, not for tag wrestling. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
You've always said that.
Oh my God, because I just I've been so locked in, not to the extent you are, but with floorball these days. It's I might throw, Alex, I might throw some money down on floorball if we're being for real right now.
You should.
Guess where I'm going to do that?
Okay. You should do it at, that place. We always
At MyBookie AG?
That place!
That place?
At MyBookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it at MyBookie AG. They got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything. at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
MyBookie AG. You don't have to fucking show off all the time. God. He doesn't warn me about this. I have no makeup on. None. Zero on this face right now.
No, you had a whole bunch of makeup on, but you wiped it all off 5 minutes before you came
Kendall
out here.
Gray's honor, it definitely wasn't that I showered at like 6 p.m. and then had to do other stuff and then realized that I told our social media manager that I would be live tweeting today. Definitely wasn't that. And Alex strolls in here, not only looking fashionable, but with an active fan to propel his pinwheels? I can't work like this. Speaking of needing fans, Meet Norma says it's going to feel like at least 105 degrees here on Sunday. Too hot to crank, and I'm waiting for the Bird Notice review. Was NXT good? How you know? Well, we watched. There was some good. There was some less good. And how we know is we watched the show. Some of us did it through our star-spangled glasses, and some of us just watched it like normal without USA where our eyebrows should be. Listen, if you listen in audio form, some people will be like, I listen to you guys on my way to work. Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate and respect it. But there are certain episodes where you just got to take a gander at what's going on the YouTube side of things. This is one of those times. This is one of those times, Alexander.
Right. Yeah. The next match is Jackson Drake versus Mason Rook. He's big and he's bad and he'll body slam your dad. And Jackson
Drake's dad. Not Jackson Drake's dad tonight.
He's not second, he's first. He's the doctor of the thirst. And so
that was really good. Kudos.
I think everybody should have a silly little rhyme that is their catchphrase.
At least when they go, that should be Mason Rook specific. Like if you go up against Mason Rook, you have to have your own cute little. It's not a limerick, but like a little thing. You know, I like it.
Yeah. And this match is your stereotypical big guy versus little guy, where little guy tries to stick and move and then tries headlock takeovers and they don't work. And then the big guy tries giant sentons and the little guy rolls out of the way, and it's that. And both these guys are better than that. I was hoping for more fireworks here, but man, I hope I'm wrong.
Save it for the 4th, Alex, because that's when the fireworks are. They can't all be in your outfit.
That was good. That was really good. I like that. I hope I'm wrong. It sure feels to me like they're trying to make Mason Rook wrestle like a big man. You know what I mean? Like, from all the stuff that I've seen, all the film I've seen of him doing his stuff on the indies, like, the first thing we ever saw him do was a gigantic moonsault. And now it's like, you can't headlock take over me. And are you King Kong Bundy? Like, you know what I mean? Like they called King Kong Bundy the walking condominium, and he barely even walked like that. But that was how they wanted him to be, that versus Hulk Hogan. They wanted these guys to be that. And I'm like, if you got a guy who is that size, but can do all the other stuff, that makes them special. He's still doing some of the stuff, but not nearly the kinds of things that he would show us in the very beginning, and also at the top of before he got here. And so to some extent, they love doing this with all the big guys. Prove you can just be a big man before then you do all the other stuff. And I don't think it's necessary for a person like Mason Rook. I think you should make him as special as possible. I mean, the backpack, cannonball into the corner, which he ends up doing after the match, is great. Do that. He's more special than they're allowing him to be right now. This reminds me of when of Bronson Reed's run in NXT for a time period. They were just like, you're just big. Later, we're going to give you the nickname Big Bronson Reed, but for now, you're just big. Just be big. And I was like, well, I can do other stuff other than just big. Like, no, big. Your job is big. And I feel like you can have that can be part of your job description, but there's other things you can do too.
I actually kind of disagree with you here, but for reasons. I feel like there's such a size disparity between these two that I'm like, I'm okay with the big guy, little guy.
In this particular match, I will allow. Yes.
Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying overall with what we've seen of Mason Rook so far. I'm okay with it here because that's how I feel like Mason Rook should approach a match like this against someone like Jackson Drake, who I keep wanting to call JD Drake. I apologize in advance for when I do it. The other reason I'm kind of okay with it is because I don't think these two are going to meet again down the road. So I'm like, if this is the first one and we get a few more of these where they start to be a little more innovative and this is the first chapter, I'm okay with that side of it too. I feel like Mason Rook is really cool, and it still feels like they don't fully know what to do with him.
They don't. They
should be grow the mullet
printed
back
out.
And back off and let him do what makes him special.
They printed up a shirt, and they said, "This good. We're making money off of this." And I was like, I mean, the match was very good. They're two very good wrestlers. But I wanted there to be more, but I guess I'm expecting too much from just a rando episode of NXT.
I think it's that part. And I will say I am encouraged to see that he's on the opposite side of heels now. Because I feel like the biggest mistake they made was you're a big guy heel. And I'm like, no, everybody loves this guy. Let's throw him back. So I'm glad they're at least course correcting that, because it gives me hope that okay, maybe they're going to invest more into figuring out what clicks with him. So
yeah. I also want to give praise to Jackson Drake for wrestling this match like the babyface that he'll eventually be.
I had my notes verbatim.
Everybody's got to make a run as the other thing at some point in NXT. If you're supposed to be a heel, if you will spend 90% of your run on the main roster as a heel, you will have to spend at least 6 weeks, maybe even 6 months as a babyface in NXT. And eventually when he does do that, he's like the last second little tiny kick out, stuff that he's doing, taking gigantic moves from Mason Rook and then finding a way to kick out. That's usually reserved for babyface stuff. A lot of it's funny. A lot of it he was doing the heel almost dead but will not allow himself to lose Mercedes Moné kick out of just that, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. That was good.
It's even better with the pinwheels, honestly.
Yeah, so. I mean, everybody should have the pinwheels. But the thing that of course happens at the end is that, oh, wouldn't you know it, here's Ricky Smokes. He got involved. He's in the ring, and Mason Rook throws him out of the ring onto the guy with the hair. But he is so distracted by doing this that JD Drake hits a backstabber and then something else. and then
You
pinned.
did it, not me. You called him JD Drake and not Jackson Drake.
Well, I sorry, that's his uncle. He's named after his uncle,
His
JD
uncle,
Drake.
JD Drake.
His because he's Jackson Daniel Drake, and so he's named Jackson Drake
Now
after his uncle.
that's the birthright that I want to see. That's the.
Well, here's the other thing.
I want.
This is why he was so good versus Mason Rook, is because when he was a kid, he used to wrestle his uncle, and they're the same size. So that's why it works.
Perfect.
But Mason Rook can't kick out because Lockwood is holding his leg down. Yes, she's strong, but I do feel like Mason Rook, if he wanted to kick out, would kick out. He's got gigantic thighs. That man's very strong. So this is fine. I will say Myka Lockwood versus Mason Rook when? Because I'd rather see that than a lot of other things.
I feel like at some point the stakes of a Mason Rook match should be somebody's dad gets body slammed. It can be a kayfabe dad, but that's gonna need to happen at some point. I also I got a text from my sister who, as you guys know, doesn't watch wrestling, but is apparently watching the show because she had a lot to say about Kendall Gray. She thought it was so good to see the champion stand out in this way, and that there were for sure no in-ring vulnerabilities. So just like, if you want expert analysis, I don't know why you're listening to me. You could just listen to my sister.
Well, she's the general manager of Nuge, so
She is either avoiding watching wrestling at all costs on one night, or she is the general manager of New Japan, and she calls the mighty don't kneel the city standy boys. That's my favorite hallmark of she says that, and then she'll just say, tournaments, right? She's big into saying that. The thing is, with New Japan, she's right like 90% of the time.
Yes.
And if there's a tag team, she's like, I think it's time to split them up. And she's also right like 90% of the time about that. So she knows ball, but she doesn't know ball. But yes, I do want to see Myka in some of her own matches. I did like the finish here. I just wish Mason Rook had taken just a little bit more punishment. Because to your point, I had the same thought of like, Mason Rook could have kicked out of that if he really wanted to. But it was executed very well. This was, to your point, it was a little more standard of a match, but it was a very well executed one by both of them. So I will take it.
So sometimes people are written to be so dumb that they should be institutionalized. You know what I mean? Like if you're this dumb, Robert Stone, you obviously can't feed yourself. You need round the clock care, or you will somehow cause injury to yourself if you are this stupid. Because Callie Armstrong comes in and says, what does a girl got to do to get a title shot around here? And he says, remember, actions speak louder than words. Never thinking for a second that she would take that and be like, yeah, I know what I'll do. I'll attack the champion. Thank you for those words of wisdom, Mr. Robert Stone. Robert Stone is so like, you can't just have him say that and not have a hint of irony or want to correct himself, but he gets interrupted by somebody else and she walks out, or he's got to take a phone call or something. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like something, because you got to know that you can't, like, it's wrestling. Okay. And when you tell somebody, you know what would help you stand out is making a statement, with your actions. They're not gonna like do community service. You know what I mean? That's not the way they're like, oh, you know what I should do? I should volunteer at
community service.
I should volunteer at the local teen center, and then he'll see that I'm a civic-minded individual. Like, actions speak louder than words. So these are my actions.
He was thinking that the actions would be perhaps to win professional wrestling matches contested under traditional
That he
professional
hasn't
wrestling
booked her
rules.
in. When was the last Galdern match that he booked her into? Weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
I have been wondering where she is because I think she's extremely cool. I also, Robert Stone earlier when Vikingo was injured, he was like, well, that was my main event. Now what do I do? Like, he is just so constantly frantic.
Yes.
It's kind of, I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or what, but I'm kind of coming around on it. Like, you know what? Relatable. I have anxiety. I get it. But yeah, I feel like we mostly see that with the tag division and it never goes well. And he probably should learn the lesson at this point.
Yeah. Kate, remember how we were both excited about Nattie coming to NXT and saying to Jaida Parker, looks like all the rumors are true. Jaida Parker's gone soft. Because we thought that they had a good idea somewhere in their empty skulls.
Damn, dude.
But they don't. They don't have any good ideas in their empty skulls. Their skulls aren't empty. Their skulls are chock-a-block full of bad ideas. This Nattie stuff is terrible. What? Like, we were like, you're gonna come down and like Jaida Parker is going to like I know I can fix you. I can train you into being a killer. Like she like Nattie coming into NXT and handpicking some women who are almost there, but just need Nattie's guidance to get there, like creating her own Blackpool Combat Club of these women, and the ones that she has picked is Xing Xing, like keep that same energy, and this other lady who doesn't really seem to want to be there. Those are the people that she's picked. And she's locked herself into a blood feud of cattiness with Jaida Parker. Like, I'm what? Why? Why would
nobody? Not a soul alive can This Is Cinema me over Alex singing "Keep That Same Energy" with pinwheels on his head, patriotic glasses. And again, the YouTube play button visible behind him. There is nothing the Bloodline could do that is more cinema than Alex, keep that same energy. It was beautiful, and I almost don't want to give my thoughts on it because it was so perfect. But I do have to agree.
Hey, Kendall says, hey, give Kelly Armstrong a title shot. And Robert Stone is like, no, she's got to earn it. She's got to earn her title shot by attacking you later tonight, and in which case she will have earned her title shot. And then Nattie's like, earned? That's my favorite word, earned. My favorite thing in the business to earn stuff. I have earned lots of stuff. Just like my friends here who are like my hangers-on, like Nikkita Lyons, earned the Evolve Women's title. R.I.P. Wendy Chu being somebody we would ever like. What? Wendy Chu was hanging out. Wendy Chu was hanging out. She was a glorified extra with a special costume piece, and never got to speak on NXT while she was the Evolve champion. But now Nikkita Lyons is keeping that same energy by hanging out and gets to like be around and have lines. Poor Wendy Chu.
Yeah, I have no idea why Wendy Chu was not on the main roster. Like, she's so versatile and so good at the ring, and as we've seen, she can pull off anything from 5,000-year-old dragon lady to sleepy girl. Like, she can. I don't get why her trajectory wasn't up. Like, I think she's just fantastic. I really would love a Nattie dojo. I really would. These are not the parts I would put in it. Karmen maybe, because we've seen like what she can do in a blood sport setting and her background. And honestly, Nikkita in ring isn't fully the worst idea, but not with this character. It doesn't fit at all.
Because also they're making Karmen into a character that like isn't what she also Nattie is now not even like she still calls herself the low-key legend, and she's got the hair pulled back, but her energy is that same energy when she was just heel Nattie on the main roster wearing a cowboy hat. You know what I mean? Like she's just catty. She's just catty. And I'm like,
it's because they like don't like I give NXT so much credit because they, of any wrestling program, have the most breathing room for title adjacent women's programs. They have them in spades, and that's awesome. But the templates for them, there's like 3 of, and this is one of them. Is bitchy, like it's bitchy catty bullshit, and it's not like unless they're leading to an NXT Underground match, it can't be real graps. Unless I'm hoping now with Kendall Gray it is. But it's also just messy because Carmen Petrovic just joined Los Perros del Mal, but is also in Nattie's dojo. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, no,
that.
They also did the same thing with Bronco Nima. Like
NXT doesn't apply to
my opportunities elsewhere are none of your concern, or whatever he said. Like, so then don't bring them up ever on NXT, because I don't watch AAA, and I have a lot of people I think who watch NXT don't watch AAA. So you bringing them up in this weird like glancing way, only to say, hey, none of that matters. Okay, but then don't bring it up then.
I don't hate it because I would do what I just did, I think, if they didn't bring it up, of like you're in one, you're in the other. What are the implications of that? Blah blah blah.
If
especially because inevitably
bring it up, it needs to matter. You are bringing it up solely to tell me immediately afterwards doesn't matter. Then there's no reason for you to bring it up.
It doesn't matter for now until OTM breaks up, right? Like so.
Fine.
So
I guess
that
that's true.
seed being planted. But joining a whole ass other stable and being in this, like you're in 2 stables, not a guy that's in a tag team and then also in a stable is weird to me. So I wish they arranged the parts differently. I am very much looking forward to Kendall and Nattie in ring because that is.
So yes, Nattie says that Layla earned her spot in the North American Women's number 1 contendership Fatal 4-Way. Straight up, no, she did not. She lost her one match on NXT to Jaida Parker, the woman who you still call soft. So she did not earn it. You say you should be thanking your low-key legend for getting you that match. So did she earn it, or did you politic her into it? Those are 2 separate things. But she's a heel, so she gets to lie.
Is that Carmen's first match since she joined?
Carmen's first match on NXT for sure.
Yeah, I don't like that.
She's been in Evolve a long time. But anyway,
but
Carmen,
I just joined this badass stable. There's AAA representation all over the show, and I lose my return match. It's kind of like
because there are hierarchies. You know what I mean? AAA is below NXT.
Well,
you can be a champion in NXT, or at least champion a Jace, and go to NXT and lose in 4 minutes because NXT is better. That's the way that this is. Chelsea Green isn't allowed to beat anybody on this board above her, but she can beat anybody below her. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. It's just that if you look at the entirety of the totem pole in all of WWE, there's a whole bunch of people Chelsea Green can beat in NXT and Evolve and AAA, but she can't beat anybody above her on the main roster. That's the way they view everybody. It's certainly the way they view all the women. Like that's just the way it goes. Carmen Petrovic can beat people in AAA, but she ain't beating Jaida Parker because Jaida Parker is above her in the pecking order in NXT.
I mean, it is also the men's side because, like, hi LA Knight, how you doing? But Yeah, I was not like, they got to run this back again with Nattie and Jaida. Like, we got to stay in this feud. So I like the intent of Nattie having a dojo. I think that's a phenomenal use of her. But, like, this doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, this feels, it just feels off.
Nattie says she lists all of her accomplishments and then says, that's why I have earned a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And Robert Stone is like, you make a good case. And Kendall's like, give Callie a title shot, give Nattie a title shot. I don't care. I'll beat him. And Nattie's like, yay, I'm going to beat you next week. I'm super catty now. And I'm like, I just feel like if you're this, the low-key legend, the Nattie Neidhart we wanted, not Natalya, but the Nattie Neidhart we wanted, then you wouldn't be this. This is a Natalya character. And that's no. You can be the leader of a dojo and have handpicked these women and politicking to get them title shots or title opportunities at title shots, and also have the energy of a MMA killer.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the energy of a character that on Total Divas. Like, that kind of ruins it for me. Anyway, then we have Karmen Petrovic versus Jaida Parker. And I think Karmen's fine, but she's playing a character that's not a karate black belt. The character she's playing isn't a karate black belt. The character she's playing is basically like the long-lost Bella triplet. Like, she's not playing a fighter. So that's not her character anymore. So she has to go in there and lose to Jaida Parker. And when she gets the upper hand in the match, she just struts and shakes her butt. She doesn't kick anybody when they're down like an MMA killer would train her to do. All of this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible and could be great. And that's the thing, that it's not good. So the only thing that's good about this is I really love the stoicism that Jaida Parker is showing.
Yeah, especially at the end. I really,
you know what I mean?
it.
Like, just the whole thing, like she comes in, she's just like, all right, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Let's do it. And then as soon as when she gets the upper hand, she's a killer's instinct. She does it. She gets thrown to the outside. She gets ganged up on by these three ladies. They hold her in place while Nattie punches her in the belly, and then they roll her in, and she immediately hits a giant Liger bomb on Karmen Petrovic and pins her, and then gets out like, what? What you gonna do? Nothing. I'm leaving now. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's something I like. Like, this has to eventually lead to Nattie versus Jaida in an underground match again. Like, when they do this for the final time, it'll be in an underground match. And when they do, and Nattie finally wins, when they do it and Jaida finally wins, does Nattie be like, all right, good for you. All of this worked. You're now not soft anymore. Which might somehow save part of it. Or does she just go, hey, I don't like you, and go back to catering on the main roster? Like what are we doing?
I think the watering down of what Karmen can be is partly due to the fact that Kendall is champion and she's already work rate girl. Like, they don't see that you can have that show up in
she's
different
a striker.
nuances.
She should be all.
I get it. What I'm saying is, if they're gonna have
Kendall's a grappler. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Honestly, the best way to do it is to if you want to actually see if Karmen can sink or swim, you actually build Karmen as like the kryptonite to Kendall. Kendall's always going to try and
said
fit
this
in
so many times. Like, there is such a cool story of a woman that has Ronda Rousey's actual MMA trajectory in a pro wrestling context of, if you're in this move, you're done. Karmen's great for that.
Yeah.
You're in this move, you're done. And she squashes like 6 people, and then she gets a title shot, and she loses it, but it's awesome because it's Kendall. And the story of that match is, I'm trying to avoid this one move, and Kendall, with how creative she is, that would be awesome. But no, like, we just don't. We don't get girl grab stories that way.
This is basically what they should be doing, but it is absolutely not what they are doing. Nattie,
No.
Jaida, Moxley, Ospreay. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that they could be doing. But my thing is that you could easily be building Karmen Petrovic as Kendall Gray's kryptonite. Kendall Gray is going to try and shoot in and grab a leg. Okay, I'm going to knee you in the face.
Sure.
You're not going to get close to me because I've got a black belt in karate and really long legs. You try and get into me, I'm going to knock you the hell out because like I'm fast and like all that stuff. Because Kendall Gray's a grappler and you're a striker. Like you should be able to figure out a way to make her into the antithesis of that. Also, because Karmen Petrovic is also gorgeous and blonde, you can be like, I will not shy away from being the Barbie doll that you say that I am. I'm going to be all that while knocking your block off. Like you can do, especially if Lola Vice is, they didn't mention her basically today. Like it seems like maybe she's the one getting the call up immediately because they didn't mention her at all today. So if Lola Vice is gone, then you need another striker because Lola Vice was the striker.
Yes.
Like you can build Karmen Petrovic to be that. But instead, she's like the third most important member of this faction that is all about being like, like it's the put some respect on my nyam, the faction. But it shouldn't be. It should be a dojo of killers.
Well, and like the cool thing there too is like even if you are gonna lead with these ones, like Nikkita is very different from Karmen, is very different from Nattie. Like there's some really cool stuff you could do. Like I always like, especially with trios, men's, women's, whatever, like the idea that if you have a multi-person match, you just can't prepare for like, oh, I just got into, they tagged out and now I'm facing this entirely different person with an entirely different moveset and an entirely different side. Like, I love that kind of stuff. But like they refuse to lean into the nuance. This is a women's wrestling wide problem in general outside of Stardom. I'm assuming because of what I know of Stardom, which is minimal, but like the idea of like in-ring propelled stories, there's some good one, like Sheeta and Stat was pretty in-ring propelled. Like there's some stuff, right? But like, man, the idea that like stuff that defaults to men's wrestling and presentation of like you can just be a really good wrestler. You can't do that with women, and you certainly can't have multiple of that around. And like NXT is honestly very good with like women's screen time and now diversity of characters and all these things. And I wish we could still get more Graps related stories, but I kind of wish that on the men's side too, honestly. So it is what it is.
Yeah, so the thing that we need to know about this is that Layla Diggs is in doesn't want to hit Jaida Parker when Jaida Parker is like, hey, so they're all holding her, I'll punch her, now you punch her. And Layla Diggs doesn't want to do it because she's not like that. She's too nice to be in Nattie's dojo. She's going to lose the Fatal 4-Way next week and get pinned. And it's possible she gets kicked out right away, or at least is humiliated by Nattie in some way because that she loses that Fatal 4-Way for the North American Women's number one contendership. Eventually, she will join forces with Jaida Parker to have a tag match against Karmen Petrovic and Nikkita. That will happen sometime in mid-September. The finish to the match will happen at Deadline in December. The finish to this feud, it will. I can already play. I'm already looking ahead. This feud lasts at least another 5 months. It is because it would be great. I would love for a really long story that is the right story being told. This is the wrong story. They're going to tell it poorly. It's going to last too long. It is the hallmark of NXT at its worst.
I can't disagree based on the overwhelming amount of evidence that there is to support your theory.
So the women's number one contendership and North American title fatal four-way is because everyone who gets a title opportunity earns it. So it's Izzy Dame, who has lost several matches in a row. It's Lizzie Rain, who has lost a couple matches in a row. It is Thea Hale, who has not won a match since she beat Blake Monroe for the title on a fluke. And it is Layla Diggs, who has never won a match. As far as I know, that's when the last one
last win an accident.
I don't think she successfully defended the title when she had it. I don't remember her doing that. Maybe she did.
No, because it was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but even so, that would have been before that. Yikes. Well, yeah, there was a report too that she was going to be doing stuff on Evolve. So.
Yes. So everybody who's in line for a Zarya title match is coming off a loss. Every single one of them.
God.
You got to earn things in this company.
I'm trying to think who.
Not that I want to. Not that I want to see either one of them. Oh yes, I guess Thea Hale did. She win one speed match. Thea Hale did win one speed match. Did she, or did she lose it? I don't know. Here's the other thing.
Speed matches aren't real.
Not that I wanted to see one of these women lose, but I want to see the match. Instead of making Kelly Armstrong jump through the hoop of punching Kendall Gray later, instead of having 4 losers compete for number one contendership for Zarya, just say, Kelly Armstrong, you've been really impressive in your matches. You're going up against Zarya next week. Just do it.
Go ahead.
Just do that match. I mean, that's at least Kelly Armstrong's won the matches that she's had recently.
That's true, but then she would be going off a loss into the title picture probably. I do like this is what I liked about when MJF's reign earlier in the year. Like the women's title is kind of being hunted by a lot of people right now, and I like that. Like yes. Everybody should be wanting that title, and it's crowded there, and I think that's good. Like I like that. Kehlani will advance into that picture. Like people should be going after the most prized possession in the promotion. Yeah. Tony D had that for a while until everybody got called up.
Yeah.
So
Thea Hale is in the tournament brackets for the TNA TV title. That is another thing that we are doing with Thea Hale, is that she is doing double duty in TNA, and Kate has abandoned the show. She has rejected that premise almost immediately.
You know what I have not said at all? I don't think in my time as a wrestling podcaster I've ever said, God, I just wish there were more titles. I have not said, man, a scarcity makes title pictures really boring. Never said it once in my life. Mm-hmm. And for TNA to have the audacity to say, now, of all of the periods of time in our history of knockouts wrestling, now's the time we should introduce a fucking ugly ass mid-card belts. And we're so confident in our division, we are going to include like 4 people outside of it. How? I know the answer to this, but like, do you know how far you have to miss the plot to be like, with everything that TNA is and isn't right now, you know what we need? It's a women's mid-card title is the issue. When the fucking coolest thing about TNA is that women can also just challenge for the world title.
Yeah.
The Knockouts title is there, but your division is thin as hell. Well, Crest is a better person than me. This isn't fair. But like,
does she like her, or is she sports entertained by it?
Those are 2 very different questions. I mean, Crest, there's certainly a part of me, and I'm sure this is also part of Crest's thinking, is like, that means more opportunities for if Gabby Forza gets signed out of this, that's fucking awesome, right? Like, that's not my knock on it. But my knock on it is, look around at the rest of the Knockouts division. Like, build the division first, and then introduce the title. And for the love of God, American wrestling, and this actually goes for New Japan too, enough. Enough with the titles, enough with the mixed up lineages, enough. We have enough fucking titles on American wrestling television. It's egregious how many titles there are. It is so boring when I sit down with a friend who hasn't watched wrestling or is a lapsed fan, and everybody that comes out for a match, especially in AEW, but in general, has a belt. Nothing feels precious when everybody has a belt. It's Oprah Winfrey and American wrestling television right now giving out title belts to everybody. And that makes them all so diluted, and none of them have their own personalities. It is so boring. You are diluting your programming by the lack of scarcity of what it means to win gold in your promotion. It drives me nuts. And the fact that we have these speed titles instead of women's tag titles is ridiculous.
Nice rant. Well done.
I think I might have watched too much wrestling this weekend. Thank you.
So backstage, Tatum and Shiloh continue to be cute with one another, and it's unbearable because
oh my God, he's playing with her hair.
Tatum is
adorable.
definitely getting called up before they have any way of resolving any of this. So this is this is basically Ross and Rachel. If in season 4 Rachel went and moved to Night Court, you know what I mean? Like, what? No, she has to stay on the show so we can figure out. Will they? Won't they?
They are on a break. She's going to the main roster.
Okay.
They're so cute. And then it's all, don't talk about my taters that way. She's not dead weight. You shut your mouth, Nico Vance.
Yeah. Anyway, so, she says, I saw a side of you I saw a side of you that I've never seen before. I want him to say, yeah, that side of me is called the fog. It's I am the fog. I'm the fog. When I go to that dark place, I call myself the fog. The fog is the name of the mask that I wear. Give me something, Shiloh. Like, no, I just usually hide my aggression.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, that's all.
But the fog can't be that because his parents said the fog is rolling in. We have to
maybe
get out
the
of
fog. Maybe the fog rolled in, and like the fog was a demon that possessed him. But it's like the demon has like partial custody, like only like two weekends a month, and that's it.
No, it's the right weather conditions is what it is.
Yeah.
It's that.
So
I like this theory.
So then Tatum goes off because she's got her match later, and Nico Vance is like, we cut all the dead weight and get running through everybody, all these stupid WWE and NXT superstars, Nico Vance, and Charlotte's like, yeah, okay, whatever, but don't talk about Tatum that way. And then Nico Vance says, nice smile, and he leaves. And
Get
then
my
later,
tater's name out your freaking mouth.
I love the I love that this was obviously to set up a match between the two of them, but the scene didn't. But later they were like, next week, Nico Vance versus Shallow Hill. And I was like, yeah. Like, Nico Vance, when he's like, don't talk about Tatum that way. Nico Vance, instead of saying nice smile, so I wasn't talking about her. I'm going to run through you first. And Shiloh was like, okay. Ha 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 ha. And like you set up the match in the scene that you wrote. Why would you not set up the match in the scene that you wrote and then announce the match later? Like,
I think the relationship with Tatum is strong enough that it was implied.
Okay, fine. Dorian Van Duke's in the locker room and Shug say, "Hey, dude, where were you? We walked into Staten's office and you weren't with me." It's like, "Oh, I am sorry. I had to do something else because I am Belgian." And there were waffles that needed rescuing. Like, I don't know what Belgians do that needs their attention, but I mean, I don't know. And he's like, "Hey, we got a fatal 4-way #1 contender status match we're in next week. Are you going to need to rescue Waffles next week?" "No, I am sure I will be there at ringside with you. And I can do all of my moves that seem like they are creative wrestler moves. We'll do them next week." It's like, okay, you better. Great. All right, let's comically walk in two separate directions at the end of our conversation.
I think our Thursday night off is going to hit like crack. That's all I'm saying. It's like the fog, huge gap, but now I'm interested in waffles. I want that introduced as an element here. This doesn't strike me as either of their characters, so I didn't like love this direction for this team.
Dorian Van Duke's being like the absent-minded Belgian is such a weird thing for this guy.
Also, like, didn't his introductory vignette had like Sam Waterston in it, I think, right? Like that, it just I don't know who this guy is, but every time he's in the ring, I'm like, you're a freak of nature who shouldn't be able to do any of, not all of these things. You should be able to do some of them, but the fact you can do all of them is nuts. But this feels like a little too quirky, odd couple-y direction for me, and I don't. Neither of these guys strike me as what was written for them today, so I don't want to see more of it.
Yeah. Tony D'Angelo cuts his promo after defeating Naraku, and he says that he sometimes you take things for granted, things you do every day, like seeing out of my right eye,
like doom scrolling. That was my favorite. It was like relatable content.
Dude, I really questioned the tactic of this particular promo from the writer of it. Like, if both eyes had been injured, fine. But just the idea, like, now you know what I can't do? Doom scroll with only my left eye. Like, how can you do that? How is it possible to doom scroll with only one eye? I don't know.
Do you know how hard it is to doom scroll without depth perception?
I'm doing it right now. It's a mild irritant.
And you're doing it with sunglasses on too.
You know what I mean? Like it's fine. So anyway, he says that I now you've seen what I'm willing to do. I had to sign a waiver, all kinds of things with legal, just to even get the match versus Naraku on Sunday. Now everybody has seen what I'm willing to do to lengths I'll go to defend this title. You better be willing to go to the same lengths to try and take it off me. I'm done with Naraku for good. I'm like, I wish that was true.
He's like, whoever's next. And I was like, it's going to be Naraku.
And I was like, no, it should be, somebody should interrupt him right now. Naraku had his shot. Naraku had his shot and lost clean in 10 minutes. As I said on the Great American Bash, you cannot present this dude the way you presented him for weeks and weeks and weeks. Have him beat Mason Rook, do all this stuff. You cannot do all of this stuff with him, then put him in the title match with a guy with one eye, and then have him lose clean in 10 minutes and 10 seconds. You cannot do that. You neuter this man forever. You cannot do that. And so what happens? Well, they see nothing wrong with what they booked. and they have Tony D gets like fist bump with Kendall Gray on her way out to commentary. Don't worry, she's going to go to attack next, because Robert Stone's an idiot. But as Tony D walks around the corner to Gorilla, he is attacked by Naraku. There's footage they show later that he gets misted in the good eye, and then Naraku hits him with a chair a bunch of times, and then does his STO onto the chair, and now Naraku gets another title shot, even though again he lost clean in 10 minutes to a man with one eye. I don't feel like you can give him another shot out of this. You've written bad stuff.
Neither feels right to me. Like, that's the problem to me with this too, is like everything you said is true, but to be like, I'm gonna have a fireball attack this guy's face, and then for him to be like, well, the better man won. Like, that also does not feel right. Like, you made this way, way, way too intense. It's so funny because I never in NXT am I like, I just wish it wasn't such a clean loss. And this one I am. Because you can't go to the lengths that you went to and then just be one and done. Like, that doesn't feel right either. So I think they handcuffed themselves with this. I did like Tony D in the beginning saying, like, this was literally blind rage because I had one eye and I was putting you through the barricade 10 seconds after the bell rang. Like, I thought that part was really, really good. He's a really good promo.
He's a good promo.
He does just feel like a dude. But this was like a damned if you do, damned if you don't based on the result of last week because of how clean the loss was. Like, you've gone to way too many lengths for this to just be a one and done. And like, I respect the results of this contest when you burnt a guy's face off. Like, that makes no sense either. So I don't love either option of this road. And I can't imagine a situation of them getting out of it without building a stable around Naraku. Like, that I think has to be the next steps here. But like, I don't know.
Oh, there was something
like,
that I forgot to mention.
Do some in the match.
I forgot to mention this earlier because, well, no one should talk about it. But during the Jackson Drake and Mason Rook match, Booker T gets a FaceTime call on his phone from Cam Hendricks.
So bizarre.
He answers. The phone sound is so loud. It's way too loud. And he answers the call, and Cam Hendricks starts speaking, and then the phone rings one more time. Like, the production of this was god awful. Like, you can't have, like, what are you doing? Getting phone calls at the desk book? Yeah, you know, my fave five, which is a thing that was like something you did in 2008. And Cam Hendricks just cuts a promo into a camera, and like Booker T doesn't get to respond to it live because it's a recorded promo. And Cam Hendricks says, I'm coming back and I'm going to take out Mason Rook because he took me out. When I get cleared, and then I'm going to be the champion. And Booker T's like, and
this is entirely my fault because I think I brought up a couple weeks ago the thing where Eddie Kingston called Chris Jericho at ringside.
Yeah,
there were some crucial differences. One, he was calling his opponent. Mm-hmm. Two, it was Eddie Kingston who could make anything work.
Yes.
Extremely biased but accurate take by me.
Yes.
And three, like, it has to be a certified heel call. Like, if you're calling someone at ringside, you are hunting them down. That is the idea. And you also have to have the old-timeiest ring in the world. That just the corniness of that idea trope,
but I mean, like,
beckons that.
But how unprofessional to take a phone call during a broadcast. Like, that's beyond the pale, honestly.
I cannot imagine. There are certain exceptions that I think are necessary if you're on a broadcast. If it's the focal point of the...
Hold on. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
take this call.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Hello, Sean. Hi. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. No, yeah, thank you. No, I'll tell her. All right. Yep. Okay. All right, thanks. Yeah. No, terrible job today. Okay, bye. He says it is your fault that you talked about it. He watches the show, and you brought up Chris Jericho taking a phone call at the desk, and he said that's a great idea. We should do that. So that's why he did it tonight. So
I sincerely apologize. I should have been much more clear in how I would execute such a thing. But as always, we appreciate Sean giving us a call on air. So
yeah,
thanks, Hick and Butt.
yeah. There is no show about anything better than this show. I want everyone to know that.
Yeah, no.
Like I want you all to know that we know while doing this show, it's the best show there is.
There should be awards created for us, to be honest. Mm-hmm. The show opened with Alex blowing a fan at his pinwheel headband. Mm-hmm. And we are now taking extremely real calls from Shawn Michaels on the air on your very real landline. Mm-hmm. It's what we do.
Yeah. So.
And you know what, Alex? If you don't like it, you're just taking it too seriously. This is supposed to be fun. Just enjoy the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show.
It's not our job to make it good. You're just supposed to enjoy the show.
Yes. Kehlani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley with Kelly Armstrong with Kendall Gray at ringside and soon to be Kelly Armstrong. I did like Kendall Gray being like, "Oh yeah, Nattie, I know her from watching Total Divas when I was a little girl." Which is something
very old and upset by that, Miss Kendall.
But that's what she should have said to Nattie's face. Like, Nattie, I'd love to wrestle you. I'm a big fan. I remember watching you Total Divas when I was in 4th grade.
I just
say that to her face.
Appreciate that there are people that are old enough to be professional wrestlers that grew up watching Total Divas. It's a personal attack on me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she's at ringside being like she's here for this. This is not a number 1 contendership match. The only reason she is here is so Kelly Armstrong can come out and attack her. Yeah. So then Tatum is, definitely winning this match at the time that that Callie attacks Kendall, and then Kehlani is in the corner, and then Tatum. They're all too many Ks. She does her spinning wheel kick.
Be me and Tater's tag team.
Yeah, that's true.
We'd be
or your ship name. And then she does her spinning wheel kick thing, the somersault kick that she does into the corner, but Kehlani moves, so she kicks the top turnbuckle with a pad on it, and this messes up her ankle for the entire rest of the match. And so she's selling her ankle, doing a good job of it, and Kehlani Jordan is being very vicious with the ankle. But this is a good match, and Kehlani unfortunately decides to work out a new finisher or a new setup to her finisher on screen, and the first time it does not go well, and the second time it went only marginally better. I think it's supposed to be some kind of like twisting angle slam type thing, but she doesn't have the kind of strength like if Zarya did it, it would be like, yeah, I'm just picking you up. But Kehlani's not a strength girl; she's an athleticism girl who's now turned into a submission girl as well, which is cool. But like this is a strength move, and if you don't have like that kind of immediate explosive strength to hoist somebody up onto your shoulders like it's nothing, this is not the kind of move you should be doing. With some more work, it might work, but also it feels like it's the first time Tatum's ever taken this move. It just felt very, like it didn't work. But
also, if you can't pull it off on Taters,
yeah,
Tater is small too. Like if it's not going to work on her, it's probably just something you're probably not going to.
And she then hits the split-legged moonsault, and she gets the victory. And I think they went home a little early.
Yeah.
Because Tatum stood in the middle of the ring, kind of like limping a little bit on her bad leg, staring daggers at Kehlani, who stood at the bottom of the ramp, staring daggers at Tatum. And that lasted for 35 seconds. It might as well have been 20 minutes, but it was like 35 seconds, which is like, I'm like, this is the end of the show. What are we doing here? We got a hard out. It's on the CW. They got local news they got to break into. So like, what are we doing here? And then they're still waiting. And then you see Kehlani's eyes like looking at Tatum, and then they kind of flit over to the side, like is the thing that I've been told is going to happening. And then a lady jumps into the ring and attacks Tatum from behind. And Vic Joseph says, "What the hell? Oh, we all know who this is." And then proceeds not to tell us a name.
Well, we all know who it is, so it doesn't matter.
Before we get into who it actually is, it is just a woman who seems like she does leg day. And she picks up Tatum into a torture rack. And I thought she Rick Boogsed herself. She does a torture rack, like jumping to like get extra lift into the back break, and loses her footing and has to go down to one knee and then back up, and then just does a simple Lex Luger torture rack after that, and then just drops Tatum. And like, oh, this is one of the most talked about women in the entire business, the entire industry. Boy, we talk about her all the time. And when we talk about her, we say the name. No, we don't. We don't say any names. And she stands there looking into the hard cam for, again, an uncomfortable length of time. Yeah, and then she says, well, this has been an uncomfortable length of time. I'm going to get out of the ring. And she takes a step halfway out of the ring, and someone at ringside says, no. Step back into the ring and stand there and look into the hard cam. And she immediately is like, no, I've been standing here this whole time doing this. She's obviously angry about how that move looked and angry about being barked at ringside about I've been standing here. You're not doing this. Has been hard too long. I can't just stand here and do nothing. I tried to leave and you told me I had to get back in the ring. She looked very uncomfortable with all of that. And then finally, I mean, from the time the match ended, I'll even give you from the time the replays were over after the match ended until they went off the air was 3 minutes. It was such a long time for nothing to have happened. And so
it was the opposite of the pacing we normally get. They've gotten much better about it now, but it used to be like they were rushing so many things in because we got cut off, and I was like, this all felt painfully much longer.
This is Nikki Blackheart.
Yes.
But that is obviously not going to be her name. Or maybe it is.
I thought they already changed it to just Nikki or something. But like
I don't know. Figure it out.
To yeah,
you should know that.
Have names for, because it's also not like she was coming from AEW or whatever. Like that's a very weird one to me. Yeah, part of this was unfortunate. I think, has not been wrestling that long. This is a very quick acceleration for her, so they must really see something in her, which is very obvious looking at her. And if you've seen some of her former work, you can understand why. But like, she's zipped through some stuff. But this was kind of, normally we're like, these ideas are stupid, but the wrestling is good, or the execution was all right. And this was kind of the opposite, where I was like, I get what they're going for. And it would make wrestling sense, even though it's overdone on even just this episode. But like the execution was just clumsy. It was weird.
The idea that you would have Tatum have that match against Zarya on Sunday, then like have, start a little mini feud here with Kehlani, where Kehlani talks trash to her and she says, I don't like you talking that way to me, so let's fight. Then have a match against Kehlani where she loses basically clean. And then she gets attacked by Nikki Blackheart, and either that writes her off of NXT for good, or she loses to Nikki Blackheart on the way out. Like, it is not like, this was a weird. You didn't need to do the Kehlani match if just have Nikki Blackheart attack Tatum backstage at the pay-per-view, at the play. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't need to do this at all.
Screams to me of they don't know if they're calling her up or not. Like, they've done this a few times now. It got better, but like, this just feels like, yeah, we don't know. We might call her up. It feels just like when at John Cena's show they were like, hey, we don't watch NXT, but these guys are great. And now like half of their most successful people on the roster are that crop of people. But like, they don't usually do the you're saying goodbye to the crowd thing as a fake out. So that feels like very, very off. Tatum, I don't think I've said this before. Like, more people need to use wheel kicks in general. It cannot just be Tatum, Paxley, and Fujita.
Yeah.
It's got to be more. It's too cool of a move to not be used more often. I love a good wheel kick. Come on now. But yeah, this feels like if it is a send-off, it's an awkward one. If it's not a send-off, the tease of it was just kind of out of the way and unnecessary and weird.
Yeah.
You could have just continued this. But the match with Zarya on Sunday was like, it was my match of the night. It was splitting hairs with the main event, but Sunday was a women's wrestling showcase. That is for damn sure.
All right. We have puns, and it's already past 2 hours because we've talked too long about things. So Tom Valley says, Catherine Fabe, how dare you use such language? Silly? Really? You go wash your mouth out with soap. So there you go. Puns.
I'll say it again.
For soccer / countries of the world. Football. Because of the World Cup. Here we go. Tom Valley says, Morocco beware. Morocco beware.
Coco beware.
Ralph Garcia says, Neymar Sade. Hope
nice.
Solo Sokoa. And obviously, Pele kick. There you go. Very good. C. Delgado says Matt Stryker, Nikki Cross, an amazing red card. Greg Cherry took the one I was hoping somebody would. Djiboutios.
That's excellent. Well done.
Greg Cherry says Narakuwait.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Meat Enormous says Pele El Cerro Miedo, penalty kick party, Ronaldo Bafemi, Cote Ivy Nile, Mascara Guadalajara, Maxine Haiti, Goal E Dangerously, CM Punt, Sudanhausen.
Nice.
Greg Cherry says Sri Lanka.
Very good.
And Greg Cherry says Thea Trinidad and Tobago. Tim McFall says I suck at these, but love geography. Ivory coast to coast. That's good.
Very good.
Ivory Coast. Very nice. So you don't suck at these. That was very good.
That was very good.
Greg Cherry says Viet Noam Dar.
Very nice.
Tom Lally says Bosnia and Herzegovina girl and Iraqi rainbow. Oh, I like some great trade. Uzbekistan.
That's very good. That's very good.
Meet Normus says the Forbidden Ecuador, Busaiko Germany. Quote from Okada: pitch. Norway Jose.
Very good.
We don't shin the guard. We are the guard. Macau, you know?
There's some excellent ones in there. Very well done, Beat Normus.
C. Delgado says Hat Trick Williams. And Scissor Kick Me, Daddy.
Very nice.
Spidey Boy says, all the love as always, Kate and Alex and SGS fam. Finland Balor, Denmark Henry and The Rock's next gimmick, Samoa non grata.
Nice. Very good.
Greg Cherry says, Costa Rico. Silver
good.
Star says, the big red machine, Ukraine. That's gotta be Ukraine. Georgia, the Animal Steel, Argentina, Morello, Finland, Balor, Chelsea, Greenland, and the authors of Spain.
The authors of Spain.
That's a very good one.
I like that one.
Meet Norma says Luxembourg, Luger, Scotland, Too Hottie, and France, Archer. See,
Archer's really funny.
I love the ones that rhyme. I'm a sucker for the rhyming ones. Togo Team 2000 from Greg Cherry.
Very good. Thank you.
Meet Norma says Nigeria, Ripley, Belarus, and Russia, Banks. Greg
Very
Cherry
good.
says Manchester United Empire.
Very good.
Greg Cherry says the BIFA World Cup. Not the FIFA World Cup, but the BIFA World Cup.
The Bifa. Very nice. That's for SP3 if he's still around.
Greg Cherry says, not a pun, but speaking of the World Cup, I'd like to recognize the winner of the 2018 WWE World Cup, the only man to ever win an 8-man tournament in one match. My best in the world, Shane McMahon.
I am shocked that Greg Cherry, of all people, brought that up. Truly.
Also just wanted to say love yins. We love you too, Greg Cherry.
Oh, thank you.
Meet Normus says Italy Moriarty, Maya World Cup, and
Right there.
Kenya by God Omega.
That one fucked with my dyslexia a little bit, not gonna lie.
Meet Normus says Trinidad Andrade o Tobago,
Very good.
Big Egypt, and Morocco.
Morocco. Very good. These are funny.
Chandler Valley says Ella es la niña de Alex Agrio Lucha.
I think that was about your daughter.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Because you were telling her about how lucha wrestlers all look the same.
Yes, there you go. That's true. Greg Cherry says, last pun, since Victoria Beckham is married to David Beckham, it's a workaround. Big Josh Spice.
I'm here for it.
Silver Star Scimitar says, Swerve Switzerland, Kenya Shamrock, Taiwan Mellow, Albania Fire, Rwanda Rousey. Rwanda Rousey is pretty amazing.
That's very good.
Italy Dame, the Liberian Leva Bates.
Leva Bates.
The Liberian Leva Bates is great. Tapped Out says, loving your work, SGS. Hope you guys are both well. Thank you.
Thank you
Tapped
so
Out
much.
Sports Contest. Thank you so much. And set of photos says Shano Macedonia. Tom says, congrats, Mexico. Dos a cero. If you know, you know. Mexico won their World
That's
Cup.
2-0.
That is. Okay, so here we go. Tom Valley asks, who do you have in the floorball World Cup?
That's a good question.
But because somebody did Djiboutios, my answer that I was thinking of this whole time, it was like, who do you have in the floorball World Cup? Djibouti. Just because I think it's the funniest name of anything ever is Djibouti.
It's pretty great.
Actually, you know what would be very funny if you know how funny it is? The Maldives. Because they're all islands the size of a postage stamp, and I don't know where they would fit a floorball court. So there you go. There's the jokes.
That's fair.
There you go. Okay, you have one request, but it is not Stone Cold. So, I'll do my first one first. Danhausen sings "Born This Way" by the Lady Gaga. Here we go. "Born This Way." Lyrics. Here we go. Let's see if I can rustle up a Danhausen. Okay, here we go. Danhausen's mama told him when he was young, we are all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, because he made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, because God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret. Just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way, unless you were cursed.
That's a good point. You have a much better Danhausen than you give credit for.
I gotta listen to, like, this is the thing. I gotta listen, like, to find the idiosyncrasies and figure out ways to, like, bring them in and things like that. Because I listen to a lot of Dusty.
Sure, of course.
You know, in case I would ever have to do an impression of him, in case he wasn't here.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to enough, like, Danhausen recordings. I need to do that so I can, you know, be a good impressionist at some point. So
someday we'll get to hear that Dusty Rhodes impression, but for now he just stops by. So
yeah, Rafael Garcia says Nya Girl sings a little bit Alexis by Schitt's Creek.
Alexis is like pretty Nya Girl adjacent. Like she's right there, but I'm a Lamborghini. I'm a Hollywood star. I'm a little bit tipsy when I drive my car. I'm expensive sushi. I'm a cute, huge yacht. I'm a little bit single, even when I'm not. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. La, 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 la. A little bit Alexis. You can't not. La, 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 la. A little bit Alexis. La, 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 la. I'm a little bit Alexis. La, 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 la. I'm a little bit. There is actually a second verse to it, but they never get into it in the show. This is funny. Wow. I didn't know this. Everybody's got a jet ski. Everybody's got a yacht. Everybody's got a pool boy. Everybody's got a horse. Everybody's got a billboard. Everybody's got a vault. Everybody's got a stalker. Everybody's got a horse. But now you've got Alexis, vroom, vroom, bitches. I am going to have to look up the rest of that because that's
very funny.
An absolutely iconic scene in television history.
Tom Valley wants Dusty to sing "Oh Canada" for Canada Day.
I was just going to say my favorite part of A Little Bit Alexis, and now that Dusty's here, he can talk about it too, because I'm sure you're a huge Schitt's Creek fan.
Yeah. Fifth Creek? I love Fifth Creek. Fifth Creek is a fantastic show.
She, instead of saying the critically acclaimed, she goes, the critically reviewed reality series, A Little Bit Alexis. It's the most subtle thing, but instead of critically acclaimed, she says, critically reviewed. It's pretty brilliant. Dusty, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm doing good. It's nice. It's a fantastic summer up here. Apparently, there's lots of heat waves down on ice, but up here in Wrestler Heaven, it is 74 degrees with a slight breeze every day.
I love that
Perfect.
for you. That sounds delightful.
Perfect weather.
Yeah.
All right.
it.
So here we go. Singing "Oh Canada" for Canada Day. And also for Dino Bravo, who's up here somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. But anyway, okay, here we go. Oh, Canada. Our home and native land, baby. True patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts, we see thee rise. The true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, where pines and maples grow, great prairies spread, and lordly rivers flow, baby. How dear to us thy broad domain, from east to western sea. Thou land of hope for all who toil, that true north, strong and free. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee, baby. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee, if you will.
That was very moving and passionate.
No, I mean, I had to do it in honor of Dino Bravo. You understand?
Yeah, of course. No,
The
of
French Canadian wrestler.
of course.
He's up
Respect.
here somewhere. There's lots of Canadian wrestlers. I don't know one I could think of right now.
That's fair.
Bret Hart's still alive, so I can't.
Sure.
He's not up here yet.
Yeah.
But
Dino Bravo for him.
yeah, but Dino Bravo. Yep. Died under mysterious circumstances. Dino Bravo. Look it up.
Under what circumstances?
Mysterious circumstances.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly.
Just Google Dino Bravo death, mysterious circumstances.
I think did they do a Dark Side of the Ring about him? I feel like
They did do a Dark Side of the Ring about. He did not care for it. He did not think that the guy they got to portray him in the reenactments looked enough like him. He was like,
Gotcha.
that guy does not look like me. So that's the. But most of us up here who get a Dark Side of the Ring made about them, we're not the biggest fans. Like Bruiser Brody did not like his.
Understandable.
We're all very vain. We were like, what if we were still alive, we would play ourselves. You understand? So, it's
Of course.
tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Well, I'll assume everyone is Googling that. Happy 4th of July this week, and also happy Canada Day to the people who are Canadians. Happy things to everybody, and we will. Owen Hart, of course. Owen, I just saw him, but he ain't here no more. He obviously also a very famous Canadian wrestler. There's lots of them. Just me, and I just can't think of a lot of people. So it's
fine. There's nothing wrong with choosing Dino Bravo. I am looking up the circumstances of his death, though, now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go watch that Dark Side again.
It's good. It's all right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well,
I can't believe Sean pays us for this.
Yep. Why? He should pay you double because it is the best show on the internet. Because it started with a man wearing pinwheels on his head and pointing a fan at them to make them blow in a cycle. And then it ended with the ghost of Dusty Rhodes singing "Oh Canada" in honor of Dino Bravo, who died under very mysterious circumstances. Keep cool, Gabagool.
Yeah.